Good morning, guys. It's Lara. Thanks for watching and welcome back to my channel. Today it's again a what I eat in a day video, so I will show you all my meals that I'm gonna have throughout the day. And in addition to that, I will also tell you a bit more about why I want the Austrian citizenship, because that's something a couple of people were interested in, so I'm gonna tell you all about it between the meals. So if that's something you're interested in, then please keep watching. Hecky Bear is having his breakfast. He woke me up today shortly after 4 o'clock and he needed to go out, but then he cuddled underneath the blanket and he slept till I woke up underneath the blanket and he was snoring. So precious. So I'm having, as always, as a first thing, this big mason jar full of water and all of my vitamins. By the way, this is where we store our vitamins and supplements and smoothie ingredients. So let's start on the bottom. So I have here a box with cocoa powder and there is a spare cocoa powder in the back. Then we have here this jar that was a drugstore protein powder. It's a very lovely protein powder, but in the meantime I discovered the protein powder from the brand My Protein and we've been using that ever since. So here it says vanilla, but right now we have inside the My Protein soy blend creamy chocolate. And we always fill it up because the bags that we buy are way too big to store them in the cabinet, and this is an easy way how to have a certain amount always at hand. And then above that we have this box with Flav Drops. These are sweeteners with different flavors. We have quite a few of them. So for example, chocolate, peanut butter, then we have white chocolate, banana, there is strawberry stevia and so on. Next to it there is our vitamin D powder, and then behind that we have zinc, and that's the pharmacist's own brand. It's gelatin free and the quality is really great. We do have zinc in our multi that we're taking every day, but this is a little bit higher dosage and it has been recommended to us to take extra zinc in winter to kind of help our immune system, and so far it worked really well. Then we have here barley grass powder. Just like with the protein powder, this is just the packaging now because I always refill it with any green powder we currently have. So sometimes we use wheatgrass powder, sometimes just barley grass powder, and sometimes we use a blend of different green powders. Behind that we have the powdered peanut butter that we like adding to our smoothie, and on the top we have our multi and magnesium. So Jack is taking this multi every day with the magnesium. He also had this magnesium, but then we figured out some of the minerals and vitamins are already covered here, so it's not necessary to take such high dosage, so he's taking that and that. And when he will finish this box, then he will take for a while just this, just to use it up, and then he will go back to using these two. And this is my hair caps. You have seen them a couple of times. This is the multi that I'm taking daily. So, and now I'm gonna have a ginger lemon tea. I made it with fresh ginger and fresh lemon slice, and then I'm gonna have my smoothie. As always, Jack put it into these two big jars, and that's gonna be my breakfast today. Yesterday in the evening I cooked quinoa, and today I'll make a quinoa salad for lunch. And these are going to be the further ingredients. So I will boil 2 sweet potatoes, and then I'll peel them and chop them into little pieces, and I will add them in the salad. I will put in also 1 tomato, 1 orange bell pepper, a couple of mushrooms. I will leave these raw, and then I will add 1 jar, like 1 can of giant beans and 1 can kidney beans. I'll add 2 scallions, and then I have here lettuce. And I'm also gonna add a few branches of cilantro. First, I took the lettuce and cut it in a little bit smaller chunks, and then I started chopping the cilantro. Next, I chopped the scallions. Then I cut the bell pepper into smaller pieces and the tomato. I put the beans into a strainer and I rinse them out with cool water. That helps me personally to avoid any bloating whenever I'm eating legumes. I cut the mushrooms into rather smaller chunks. And then I put everything into a salad bowl. I started mixing it and gradually adding the quinoa. For the dressing, I used juice of 1 lemon. I put it into a dish with about half a cup of water, and then I added about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 full tablespoons of tahini. For this dressing, I'm sometimes using either peanut butter or cashew butter whenever I feel like I need a change. I blended all ingredients with a hand mixer. Feel free to leave out the water if you like the dressing to be rather thicker. And then I poured the dressing on the salad and stirred everything very well. In the meantime, I cooked the 2 sweet potatoes, so by the time I was done with the salad, they were already cooked, so I peeled them and then I started chopping them into smaller pieces and let them cool off. I filled our glass dishes to go with the salad first, and then I topped it with the cooled off sweet potatoes. Looking at the amount of salad I still have left at home raises the question, what was I thinking when I made this? Because it looks as though I've been preparing it for an army. So I strongly suspect that this might end up being our dinner tonight or lunch tomorrow. And here's our Hecky Bear. Hello, Hecky Bear. He was in the yard, again sniffing a lot because it's getting warmer and he's enjoying the weather so much. I am still having a headache. It got better, but then it got worse again. But lucky for me, I am still allowed to take painkillers today, but starting tomorrow I can't anymore because it's too close to the surgery. So at least it happened on a day when I can do something about it. Another thing that causes my headache is I just got a long list from the place where I'm applying for my citizenship. They want some additional documents, and there are a few I kind of figured they would want, so I totally understand, but then they have some very detailed questions. For example, they want to know about all of my trips abroad starting March 2013 till now. I don't remember. So that shall be interesting. And then there is a list of like certain periods of times where they want to know what was I doing, where was I living, and how was I paying my bills. That I understand because there were some small gaps between jobs, so obviously they want to know what was happening there. Usually when you get things like that, the first impression is so overwhelming, and then you get mad and you get freaked out and frustrated, and then when you talk to the people, then it's kind of understandable and you can kind of schedule another appointment. So I'm pretty sure when I talk to the lady it will be a little bit easier and clearer, but it's still one of the things that feel kind of daunting. And yeah, right now I feel super overwhelmed and kind of frustrated because I was like, oh, I handed everything in, I don't have any secrets, and now they want more information and more documents, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to get it together on time. So yeah, it's one of these days. Anyway, there were questions about why do I actually want to have the Austrian citizenship, so let's talk about it shortly. So long story short, Austria is now my home. It's been my home for the past over 20 years. I've never felt anywhere more at home. I love it here. I have here my friends, we have here a company, we have here real estate, My stepson lives here, so I have all the reasons to stay here. Even my parents support the idea to get the Austrian citizenship because it makes total sense for the future. We love it here with Jack. We want to stay here. We want to build up the company further. We just want to stay here. And even though, of course, sometimes we dream about living somewhere on the beach, but at the end of the day, I can't think of any country where I think I would have a better quality of life. And also, I've lived here way longer than I lived in the country where I was born. So it makes only sense for me to stay here. But that's not the only reason. There are also practical reasons. Because first of all, I also want to be able to vote here. I want to be able to just go to a place where they take your documents without the need of translating everything, verifying everything, you know. I had to go so many times to the embassy and I had to request some documents a couple of times and then I had to translate them. And then the tricky thing is they do not accept a translation from another country. It has to be translated here. So there's a lot of time and money also connected to that. And it makes only sense for me, since I know that I feel here at home, I want to stay here, that I will have the Austrian passport, because that will make things so much easier for the future. So basically, personal reasons and also practical reasons. So that's why I want the citizenship. And obviously the ability to vote. That's also very important to me. Alright, so me being me, of course, I already started collecting at least a few of the documents. I could cross out a few things off the list already. I called Jack and I told him what I'm gonna need from him, and he has also a few things ready. He will get the rest, and I know it's gonna be fine. I'm still freaking out, but at least now I feel a little bit less stressed out because I have a feeling I have done at least something. It's gonna be alright. Anyway, then I took a shower. You can see my hair is wet. I also washed my hair because my hair was literally disgusting today. I had the headache already yesterday and apparently I sweat at night, and today when I woke up, even though it was only 4 days after I washed my hair, and usually I can go like 5 or 6 days without washing my hair without any problems, my hair was super greasy this morning, so I had to use the dry shampoo that I'm usually using. Currently I'm using the Collab dry shampoo. I like it a lot. And then I braided my hair, but it was clear it's not gonna work tomorrow, so I washed my hair. Otherwise I would look pretty nasty tomorrow. And right now I'm already hungry, but having headache for the second day, although it's getting better now. But whenever I have headache, it usually influences my stomach and I usually lose appetite and my stomach always feels queasy. And unfortunately, it's the case now too. I feel like if I would eat the rest of the salad, that would be kind of too much and I'm afraid I might throw up. Too much information, sorry. So I think the easiest thing to do in order to get my calories and nutrients is to drink a protein shake. So I will blend 1 banana with a bit of cashew drink and water with a few scoops of my protein powder. And then I will put in cocoa and herbs and stuff like that. Pretty much similar to what I'm drinking in the morning, and that's gonna be my dinner. Now, let's be clear, drinking a protein shake instead of having a proper dinner is, of course, not the ideal nutrition, but given the circumstances, my stomach being upset and I already felt in the afternoon like throwing up a couple of times, that's a great emergency solution. But this should by no means replace my dinner any other time. This is just an exception today, so I just wanted to put it out there. You always should have a nutritious, lovely dinner. So here we go. This is my emergency dinner. So I'm gonna have a few almonds and nuts because when I look at them, I don't feel like throwing up. And I made myself about 1 liter of the protein shake that we always use in our smoothie. I used 2 big scoops and then I added cinnamon, turmeric, ginger. There's 1 banana and about a cup or a little bit more than a cup of cashew milk. And then I'm having here my water. So that's my emergency dinner. Herky Bear also already finished his dinner and now he's going to patrol outside. Jack should be back from the office any minute. I guess that he will have the quinoa salad for dinner and we just finish the rest tomorrow for lunch. It's still gonna be good tomorrow. And that's it when it comes to food. Of course, we will watch our show. We are still watching Supernatural. I think we are right now at season 8. I know we're kind of behind, but there were so many other things we wanted to watch. And I remember we started watching Supernatural. We got to season like 5 or 6, and then we stopped watching for a while, and the show kind of got forgotten. And after we finished the season 8 of The Walking Dead on Netflix, we were like, what to watch now? And then we were like, hey, let's start watching Supernatural again. So that's it for today. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's What I Eat in a Day vlog. If you have any questions, write them down below in the comments. And thank you all so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and see you soon. Bye!